Well, here's my 1993 all-wheel drive turboed K-swapped 1,000 horsepower build. And today is the day where we give this car power for the first time in almost 2 years. Needless to say, I'm a little anxious, but let's go ahead, throw in our dash, get our IC7 hooked up, our CAN keypad, flick our power switch, and hopefully get power to this thing. Just a quick recap on what we have done since the last video. The last video, we got the full custom engine harness done. Since then, we have made it into our chassis to complete our whole chassis harness. Ah, no way. Is that it? No way. A lot easier than normal. We now have the dash back installed. This has to come out one more time because I actually ordered a full carbon dash. Unfortunately, it takes 6 weeks to make. We're about the 4-week waiting period. So in 2-ish weeks, we're gonna pull that thing back out and we will have a full carbon dash for this. Now, obviously with us powering this on right now, we're not able to fire up the car. I am waiting on my fuel system. The second that comes in, it's gonna be in this video. We're gonna go ahead, plumb the whole fuel system, make sure all of that is good, put fluids in here, and then we can fire this thing up. But for right now, I wanna make sure that we have proper power to the car. A lot of the sensors are working, but since we're not starting the car, and while we are working with the ECU and calibrating stuff and whatnot, we have to go through and unplug our coil packs and our injectors. And we are now ready to give power to this car. We have 2 switches that we need to go ahead and activate. For starters, we have our 150 amp breaker. That is the first thing that's battery sees. We need to go ahead and switch that on. And then also our kill switch on the rear. We gotta go ahead and flick this on. What we're looking for right away is that this VCU has lights on it. If we see lights to it, that's a good sign. Maybe the key has to be into the ignition actually. Let's find out. Now what we're looking for is that this ECU, you guys will see lights down here. When you turn the key, those should come on. And then of course, our CAN keypad and our IC7 should turn on as well. I need to go on the computer and make sure that everything is assigned properly so the IC7 actually turns on. But I'm so nervous. Oh, look at that, there's a green light. Dude, that means we have power. That means we have power. Green light means good. Green light means good. We have the computer plugged in right now just so we can see what's going on. All right. This is terrifying. Aw. No. Well, you know what might help? If we have our ignition wire actually plugged in. The ignition key on gives power to the whole VCU. So I got worried for a second, but we should be good to go. Woo! Key on. We got, oh, let's go. Wait, where did it go? I don't know why this isn't working. I probably have to assign this still, but let's go. We have power. This is so crazy. Look at that. ECU's lit up. Our IC7 is lit up. I've never had a car with an IC7 display in here. So cool. I mean, just take a look. It's working. We need to go through and figure out why our keypad isn't working, but we have power. I don't smell any burning electric, like any fish smell. That's a good sign. This This is surreal. Tons of small things that we're still needing to button up. We have our feed, our oil return, we have all our coolant lines. We have to do our clutch lines still. All the brake lines are now complete. It's all routed inside the chassis. Everything on the inside should hopefully be completed. But now let's go ahead, button up the engine bay, and start with maybe our fuel system. Now to get all of our coolant lines, oil lines, and our fuel lines made, we have a box full of fittings over from Racetronics, ranges in all different sizes. Coolant lines, we're using dash 16, fuel lines, we're using dash 8. So in here, we're gonna go ahead and start assembling all our lines.
These brakes are pretty fucking close. You might have to put the bolts in the side.
What's close?
The bolts. See how the nuts
It is close, isn't it?
You might have to take them out and put them through the other way.
What?
Yeah.
Safety squints.
Ah! Dude, that shit hurts.
Another $270 later. Now we went through and got our fuel lab brushless fuel pump mounted. This is gonna be able to make us around 1,400 wheel horsepower on ethanol. We have all the lines ran from our tank to our 100 micron pre-filter, goes to our pump, and then our line going all the way up into our engine bay. Now today I went through and plumbed up the whole fuel system. All the lines are made. The turbo, oil, feed, return, all of that's made. Tomorrow I'm waiting on the last fitting to finish assembling our coolant system. I'm waiting on a dash 16 straight so we could build these lines. But yesterday we went through, finished off the relays for my radiator fan and electric water pump. Both of those work now. Now if we grab our fancy key here, we can turn on our VCU power. Oh no, it says I'm over boosting. I think I need to do a little bit more calibration. It says our manifold pressure is at 23.7 PSI. But take a look here. This is our CAN keypad. This controls a lot of our engine functions. Our starter is on a keypad and not actually our physical key. But this button right here is our radiator fan. I click this. Our fan pops on. And then our electric water pump is right here as well. You can't really hear that one. Now the reason I have both of those on the CAN keypad is if I ever do a hit in this car pass, I want the car to cool down without the car actually running. I can kill the engine power and then just run our radiator fan and our water pump to cool down the engine so the oil is not staying hot. Really cool feature. All the rest of the stuff is my cruise control, which I did set up on this car. I thought it'd just be funny, kind of a waste of 4 buttons, but I do have cruise control in this car. We have my nitrous heater, nitrous arm, and then all my turn signals and high beams and whatnot. So there's still a few miscellaneous things I need to get dialed in before I actually start this car. And then after I start this, there's gonna be a ton of cleanup work, making sure everything works. And then I can kind of button up this car. But tomorrow, I'm just really, really hoping we have a clean first start.
This is
Well, boys, here we go. We have the car buttoned up. It is now time to add our fluids. We're gonna go ahead, top this thing off with some transmission fluid, get some water, distilled water in case we have any leaks, and then top this thing off with some oil and get our first start.
The GMC for
How exciting. Any leaks yet?
If it, you know what? Did we check the drain plug and make sure it was in it? Tight?
I don't think, I didn't check it. That was months ago when we built it.
No, it's tight.
Dude, this is actually wildly absurd. I'm gonna need that in 30 years. I'm not even halfway done. I'm halfway done, but.
I'm scared too.
I am too. I'll switch you if you want. You want to pour in the slow fluid? Here, we can swap. I'm scared for this too. I'm just gonna just gush out everywhere. Try to get this on.
Oh, weird.
Now it's working?
Oh yeah, I can hear it.
There's one.
Any leaks yet?
No.
There's gonna be a leak somewhere.
Why?
Because it's just pissing out. It should start gurgling. Bloop, bloop, bloop.
I barely put any in.
Yeah, it should gurgle.
Wild. Oh shit. Where is that coming from?
I told you.
Dude, I'm not even joking. My head. I fuck things up all the time, yeah.
Everybody shows their faults and you're like, oh, okay.
So far, we had 2 little water leaks. Easy fixes. Yeah, I show everything. Because, I mean, no one builds a car perfect. See if there's any leaks.
Yeah, I'll stop right there. No leaks yet.
Everybody. Thank you. 1.5. Okay. Put 7.5 in it. Alright,
Is it loose, or do you have the...
this one is kind of shitty. This
It
is made by the
is
cheapest Chinese
$60.
place.
It was the only one they had, so I was like, bet. Tools are everything for Subarus. Please don't leak.
Get all the small stuff that this hurts.
It was the stupid fitting. Ugh. I mean, it turns over nice.
It's got oil pressure. Check it for leaks.
Yeah, I just checked. Dude, it sounds good. We got oil pressure. We got my tuner. In a few seconds here, we're gonna fire this bitch up.
Oh my god.
He doesn't really fit well in the car.
I don't fit at all.
You look cute in there. You know what he looks like? Gru. And he looks like Gru in the like super small car. Well, we don't have a crank trigger right now. Kind of sucks. The one sensor that we need to fire it up is the crank. If it was like any other miscellaneous sensor, it would fire. .4? The fuck? I don't know if I can. Oh shit, baby! Second. Oh!
It's dead as fuck.
No! Fuck no! You're on the dump pack. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. You let me know when you're ready, big dog.
Go ahead, hit the button.
Hit it. Oh wait, is this dead too? No! And here we are next day. I went ahead and picked up this Harbor Freight Special, which actually is putting in some work. Our battery shows that it has 14 volts now. We have Brian here on the computer. Sounded like yesterday that the timing was off, not the actual physical timing on the engine. So we're gonna take a look at that, see what's off. It sounded not proper when it was trying to fire. But hopefully everything goes good today and this thing gets a nice clean startup and runs pretty smoothly. Now we were fighting a few small things yesterday. Thankfully nothing that crazy. The first thing was some water leaks. Thankfully I did put water in here, not coolant. Very easy cleanup, just a couple loose fittings. Then we were dealing with that stupid pesky fuel leak, which as you guys know, the last time I had a fuel leak did not end up well. Ended up being a just bad defect fitting. Went ahead, replaced this. No more fuel leaks. We got oil pressure. And yeah, so far so good. There we go. Oh, that's a dip stick. And there we go, guys. Nearly a year building this car. I started this December 1st, 2023. It is now November 12th of 2024. And this thing is now running. Now we were running into issues as expected on any fresh build, especially the caliper that this build is at. What ended up happening is it was not firing on cylinder 1 and 2. Ended up being a mistake on my end. I wired coil pack 1 to coil pack 2. I'd switched them up. So I went on the ECU side, swapped the pins, and that is when this thing fired up and ran so smoothly. This is my first time also ever building and blueprinting an engine by myself. And I mean, so far, oil pressure is awesome. It sounds healthy as can be, and it cranks right over, which is, you can't beat that. Now we still have a ton of work left ahead of us to get this car to any sort of driving condition. We have to go through, bleed the brakes, 100% button up the engine and chassis down, just make sure all that's good, seal all of that correctly, go through, make sure all the bolts and stuff are tightened, stuff like that. And then this weekend, this car actually goes back to fab. I'm adding a ton of other stuff to this car. I'm going through and having EGTs added to, of course, every single runner. I'm doing a back pressure gauge on here as well. Getting some false floors made for the inside, custom catch cans, stuff like that, just to make sure this car is 100% buttoned up, ready to go. But very soon, we're gonna see this thing on the dyno and hopefully put down some very impressive numbers. But if you guys have been following along this build for the last year now, thank you guys so much for watching. I can't explain the gratification I have with this car running. I learned everything with this car. I've never built an engine, a transmission. I've never built an engine, painted a car, built an engine harness. Everything I've done on this car was the first time, and I'm expanding my knowledge with cars, which is the whole reason I wanted to do this build. But if you guys enjoyed this video, you guys want to see more crazy stuff coming up now that we have this car running. We have my new car reveal probably coming this week as well. Make sure you guys like this video, hit the subscribe button because we have some crazy stuff in the works.